Welcome to the Genius Way Show with your host, Ben Hummell. The aim of this show is to provide education, encouragement, and insights for people who are on their own personal development journeys. As a psychotherapist, teacher, author, and creator of the Genius Way process, Ben will focus on identifying common challenges to living a purposeful life, and will share valuable psychological and spiritual tools to help you make healthy and empowering life changes. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey friends, welcome to the Genius Way Show. I'm your host, Ben Hummell, and I'm glad to be here today to talk to you about something that is really important, and that is the idea of manifestation. And so a lot of people talk about this topic. There are lots of different people who use manifestation for a lot of different things, give techniques, and kind of share different philosophies on what manifestation really is and different reasons why people would want to manifest something. And I want to kind of put my hat in the ring and say my 2 cents about this as well. So I've never been a big manifesting advocate, but I've kind of changed in the past few years around talking about manifestation. I didn't want to kind of get lost in the shuffle and just make manifestation just about grabbing something for yourself. But how I see it now is again, it's a bit different. And let me just start by saying manifestation is not even something that we have to learn how to do. It's something that we're already doing. The tools to manifest things we already possess. And, basically is our nature to manifest things. It's our nature. It's what we were kind of born with. It's kind of how our lives are designed to create and manifest things and aspects of our lives. So one way to look at that is that, everything that's in your life in some way, shape, or form has been manifested by you with the help of existence. So let me explain that. So when I say we're always manifesting something, we're always creating something because it's our nature. I want you to look to the level of thoughts and feelings. Okay. Just like if I go like this, there's an energy there. There's a vibration to it. If I if I do that, there's a vibration to it. And this whole existence is kind of made up of different vibrations and waves of energy, different levels, And so when you get to the level of thought and feeling, those are also waves and they exist. And even though we might not be able to measure them with our current standard of instruments, they're still there and they exist and they're real. Okay, they're real. And so all day long, for most of us, unless you're like a very deeply practicing yogi, you're thinking and feeling all day long. These thoughts and feelings go out into the field, the quantum field, the field of possibility, let's say, and they vibrate at a certain level and they make things. And these things that we make, we're not making them and they're landing on Neptune or Jupiter. They're in our own lives. They're in our own perceptive lives. Okay. And that's how the idea of people manifesting illness or manifesting, a situation or something else coming to them, that's where that comes from. Because what we dwell on, what we vibrate to, what we think, feel, and nurture every day on that deeper level kind of comes back and shows up in our lives. That's like the basic clumsy premise of this. So my contention here is that we can't help but manifest. We can't help it. It's part of our nature, part of the structure of a human life. And so knowing that, if we take that as the premise, then there seems to be an element of responsibility that we need to take on. So what does that mean? Do you police your thoughts so that you're worried about what you're thinking? No, no, that would just be that would drive everybody insane. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is for whatever we can be aware of in terms of our thoughts and feelings, and kind of our inner vibration, the inner thing that we dwell on. Whatever we can be aware of it and try to self-direct it. Okay, what does that mean, self-direct? So let's say you're anxious about a certain thing. Okay, when you're anxious and you don't check it, you don't take a look at your anxiety and say, is this anxiety really warranted? So one of the first things that I do when I'm working with a client with anxiety or having panic disorder, the first thing to see how far it's gotten in their life, I will help them to kind of work from the outside in to address the anxiety, to see, oh, this thing that you're anxious about, look around in your room first. Is there anything dangerous here that you need to be worried about? And if there isn't, then I say, go in a little bit closer. Is there anything going on in my body right now that I need to be worried about? Am I being, is there something on a deeper level that I need to be worried about? So you kind of work in and kind of talk to this anxiety. You use discernment, you look at it, you tend to it, and it's one way of kind of calming down from the anxiety. So whatever it is that you're dwelling on every day, whether it's like, oh, I need more money, or I want to attract a better partner into my life, or I want to have kids, or whatever the heck it is, it doesn't matter. The point is that how you're thinking about it, how you're feeling about it needs to kind of change a little bit in order to manifest and bring in what you actually want, rather than what you're afraid you're going to get, or whether you're afraid you're not going to get it. Okay, does that make sense? So the universe doesn't care. It'll manifest whatever we want to manifest. And our message to the universe is, whatever I'm thinking about all day long, I am seeding the quantum field with that, and I want something of that to grow. Okay? So that's the thing we got to take responsibility for. The fact that, whatever we're putting out as a seed, meaning this is my recurring thought over and over and over again, I'm thinking about this, or over and over again, I'm feeling the urge to have this or manifest this, and how we're kind of putting it out there, that's what we get to be responsible for. That's what we get to have discernment about. Okay? And again, you can't monitor every single tiny thought. That's not the point. The point is, whatever is strongest is going to have a better chance of manifesting. For me in my life, I've always been able to manifest like housing, whether I'm renting a place or buying a place or whatever. My ability to like develop a kind of a vision of where I want to live has been amazing. In other places, I need a lot more work in other avenues, right? But it's uncanny how close I have gotten to my vision that I'm nurturing in my awareness every day, when it comes to like choosing a house, and the house kind of showing up and me being able to afford it, get it. And, it's been kind of really, really obvious to me that is like, that's one area that, somehow I've been able to manifest. Okay. Other areas, not so much. But I guess the main point here is to know that whatever you spend your time dwelling on in the realms of thought and feeling, when you can be aware of that and actually self-direct those thoughts and feelings to be what you want instead of what you're afraid you're not going to get, that is what changes the whole game right there. All right, so let's say you're somebody who's your whole life you had to struggle with money, okay? And I'm saying that because it's kind of a common thing to have happen. My whole life I haven't had enough money and I've worried about my bills, okay? So my guess is somewhere in there, there's an idea of yourself as somebody who has trouble making money or keeping money or something. Okay. And I want you to think about looking for that thought or that feeling. So just do it right now while we're going there. Let's say, let's pretend that you have that idea of yourself. Oh, I don't have enough money, and I don't make enough money, or I don't attract enough money. Let's just say that. What is it, for instance, that you're saying about yourself with that? Are you saying, I don't have enough education, or are you saying I'm unlucky, or are you saying the world is against me, or what is it? So if you can find one of those things, you'll see that you're telling the universe, I'm just unlucky. I'm trying to win the lottery. I'm trying to get a better job. I'm trying to create that next business, but I'm just unlucky. So I'm going to hope that this time I won't be unlucky. But you see what you're feeding the quantum field with. I'm unlucky is the main message, right? So how do you kind of shift that around? We're going to do a guided visual later on in the show to help you with this. But I want you to get the basic idea down where, again, let's use that example. If I don't have enough money and my idea is I'm not a lucky person in terms of money, we got to catch that as it's going out. We got to catch that feeling, that idea, that story that we have about ourselves. We have to catch it and change it, shift it around before we plant it in the quantum field. Okay. So let's say, again, you got a field outside of your house and you've got the seed of I'm unlucky. I hope to be lucky, but I am unlucky. And you plant that in the field, what's going to grow? The unlucky plant's going to grow, right? So what do? Do you say, oh, well, I guess I'm lucky, even though I don't believe it? I'm lucky, but I'm hoping against hope that that's true when I really believe that it's not true. So how do you believe automatically that you're lucky? Okay. So again, the universe doesn't care whether you believe it or not. It's the effort that you make to be open to being a lucky person or somebody who makes enough money or whatever the case may be. So it's not about believing it. It's just like allowing the possibility out of all things. Okay. Because usually that idea that I'm not very lucky, usually we're not really focused on that to see that we're actually doing it. Right. So the first step is to see, what am I throwing out there that I'm not really aware of? What am I planting in that quantum field that's always around me that I'm not really aware of? That's the first step, right? And as you can check that, you can see, well, maybe I can plant a different kind of seed. Maybe my manifestation isn't working because I'm planting the seeds of something that I don't want. And that's that's like the motto of worry and anxiety, using your creative energy and your imagination to create something that you don't want. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here. We have the power to create our lives. Okay. And not only do we have the power, we are creating them every day. So if your life is not what you want it to be, it's not because you're a victim of the world. And yes, we all have shit that happens to us. We do, and some of it doesn't make any sense. And some of it just feels unfair and unjust. Absolutely. Right. And I'm not saying, oh, if you have a physical illness, that too bad, you created it. That's not what I'm saying. My point is, for the things we can understandably have, a choice over, which is, what is my thought about my life that I keep thinking over and over and over again? You can change that. Nobody's stopping you from changing how you're seeing your life. Nobody and nothing is stopping you from changing how you are regarding your life and what's happening in it. Okay? So that doesn't count. That part you do have control over, even if your ability to do it is rusty, even if you've never done it, you have that power to check what you're throwing out into the universe, into the quantum field, so to speak, in terms of what your life is about and how your life is going and what you think and feel about it. Okay, you have that. And so that's what I want to help you guys work on in this show. All right, let's take a little break and look at this video, quick video, just about the power of manifestation and creativity and how it works in a human. I'll see you on the other side.
I will never see my life the same way again after learning this. Every day, with every thought, we're shaping the world we live in. This isn't magic, it's manifestation. You see, our minds are like gardens. What we plant, we grow. Positive thoughts, they sprout positivity. Negative ones, not so much. Imagine this, instead of stress and anxiety, you can fill your life with beauty and depth. It's all about being mindful of your thoughts. Start seeing challenges as opportunities. Notice the good in every day. By realizing that we create our own life experience, we take control. We become the artists of our own lives. So why not paint a masterpiece? Remember, your thoughts shape your reality. Make them count. Let's create a life worth living, one thought at a time.
So I'd like you to think about this whole thing about manifesting in this way. Just consider this for a while. So whatever gets manifested, whatever you're kind of trying to bring into your life, the quality of your manifestation has to be practiced right now, right in this very present moment. So part of learning to be good at manifesting things means that you have to develop the ability to keep yourself in the present moment more maybe than you have been. Okay. So our example before of like, oh, I'm not a lucky person is based on probably past experiences and the worry about the future experience where you're still going to be unlucky in the future. And meanwhile, this very present moment, right now, this immediate non-time, this kind of, in the Greek word, it's called kairos, which is a non-chronological time. Right here in this moment is where you're able to kind of use this innate quality of manifestation. And, you know, when you can be in this present moment, what you're wanting to manifest is going to have a zillion more chances of manifesting than if it were, if you're trying to kind of force it from seeing yourself from those other places, past or future. So being in this moment is one of the prerequisites of being able to kind of manifest more. I don't know if you've ever tried to meditate before. Hopefully you have, because it's a good practice. You'll see it's not really that easy to stay in the present moment. And it takes a while to develop that quality and to kind of have a skill to bring yourself back to the present moment. But when you're talking about creating things, creating your life, and using your power of manifestation, it's important to realize that the present moment is the only place that you can really do that. Okay? So I love Joe Dispenza. I'm going to use some of his quotes here today, because he talks about this ability to manifest quite a bit. And, you know, one of the things that he says is that when you are not in this present moment and you're future tripping, worrying about the future, or, you know, dwelling on how screwed over you got in the past or how things didn't work out, the way he puts it is that you're siphoning energy from this present moment. So think about that. The past doesn't exist anymore. The present doesn't exist yet. And if we're kind of dwelling in thoughts and experiences of the past and present, we're using this present moment to do so. Does that make sense? I know that's weird, but you literally can't be in the past except for kind of in your thoughts and in your like trapped emotions, your trauma or your neurosis. You can't be in the future and be there realistically without, again, using the energy of this present moment that we find ourselves in. So any kind of work on yourself, any kind of manifestation, any kind of personal journey, you really want to take the time in whatever method you use to be able to develop a skill to be in the present moment, right? This is where it all happens. And your ability to be here and your ability to manifest depends on your ability to be in the present, because that's where all the good stuff is. In the present, there is literally unlimited potential. That's where the quantum field exists, in this present moment, and it will always be in this present moment. And from that place, we can access this field of possibility and kind of put out into it in the present moment what we would like to manifest. Okay, that's really in a nutshell how this whole thing works. But the present moment is like gigantic in this endeavor. And so what about the present moment? The present moment can't be anywhere else, but we can be dwelling past in our thoughts, in our feelings. We can be dwelling about the future, and we can miss this moment. We can kind of ignore the moment and siphon the energy of the moment to dwell in the past or future. Okay, enough about that. So back to the manifestation part. I want you to have this little idea here in terms of how the manifestation works. Approaching what we know as science, but in probably in a few years, everyone's going to know this. In terms of quantum physics. So basically, the three things we're working on are thought, like I said before, thought and emotion and intention. Those three things: thought, emotion, intention. And so our thoughts are kind of like a wave that goes out into the quantum field, into existence. Okay, quantum field existence, that's to me the same thing, right? That field of possibility. And so our thoughts are the wave that goes out into it. And then we have our intention, which is kind of like, the message that goes out on the wave. Like a radio wave will have things in it that are, the message of the music in the radio wave, or, whatever wave is going out. It has that information on it. So that's our intention. So let's say my intention is to make $1 million. Okay. The thought goes out as the wave. The message on the wave is $1 million, and it's going into this field of limitless potential and possibility, which is the quantum field. And again, it doesn't care what you make, right? And then the emotion is that goes out with the thought and the intention. The emotion is like this magnetic charge. And so the magnetic charge helps all this come back into your life. Okay. So the thought is the wave. The intention is the message or the information that's on the wave. And the emotion has magnetism to it, and it pulls it back to you. So that's how manifestation works in a nutshell. Okay. So remember what I was saying before in the first section of our show, is that no matter what you're putting out there, it's coming back to you. And so, even if we're not living in this present moment, some of what we're dwelling on, whether it's I'm a loser, nothing works for me, or I feel sorry for myself, or, I'm a victim, whatever it is, that's going to come back, and it will self-perpetuate. It's like planting a seed of victimhood or planting a seed of sadness. It's going to come back. That's the magnetic charge. So here's the big question here. How do I just be in the moment and put, happiness out there? How do I charge my thought and my intention with the magnetism of happiness, right? And so if I could tell you that, and you could do it in 1 second and do that the rest of your life, I would definitely be a gazillionaire. Okay. Because what it takes, this thing that I'm talking about, takes a personal commitment to learn how to be in the moment and watch what we are putting out into the quantum field, what we're putting out into existence, right? When you really make this connection about what I'm putting out there comes back to me, without a doubt. And I'm using this present moment that I've been given in the way of kind of like, distracting myself from being here and actually creating the life that I want. When you can see that, you're going to want to make a huge effort to practice being in this moment and kind of learning this skill. This is not a secret skill. It's not for secret schools. It's not for, just special people. This is part of all humans' kind of innate abilities and gifts. And it does, again, it's trans-religious, trans-cultural. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what religion your family had, doesn't matter. The point is, this is how it works as a human. These are kind of untapped awarenesses and qualities of humankind that that really need to be tapped into if you're wanting to get to that level of being able to like consciously create your life and create beautiful things in your life. Okay, this is how you do it. All right, so what we're going to do is take a short commercial break, and I'm going to come back with a guided visualization that'll help you to see a little bit more clearly how this manifestation aspect of human life works. And I'll help you to kind of go through an experience to see how to do it for yourself. We'll see you then.
Ben Hummell's writing comes from a deep well of experience, practice, and wisdom. The Genius Way teaches you the life skills you need to find your own unique genius. Summoning Genius helps readers to turn a midlife crisis into an opportunity for personal growth. You can find Ben's books on thegeniusway.com, Amazon, and most online booksellers.
Close your eyes and take a deep breath in, and then deeply exhale. Imagine that you're sitting in your favorite chair. You're feeling calm and peaceful, and your life feels fulfilled, except for one important aspect that you feel is lacking. What is this aspect? You realize that you would like to manifest this aspect into your life. So you need to gather your thought, your intention, and your feeling around this aspect to make it happen. First, allow your intention for this manifestation to come into focus. What do you see? Next, see your thoughts about this manifestation becoming clear and specific. What can you describe about your thoughts? Finally, sink into the feeling about this manifestation. What does it feel like to have this aspect manifested in your life? Now see your consciousness dissolving from a solid particle into a wave. Allow this wave of creativity that contains your thought, feeling, and intention to vibrate out into the quantum field of possibility and limitless potential that surrounds you. See the quantum field vibrating in response to the signature of the wave that you're sending out. Now, see the wave returning to you and becoming a material reality in your physical life. What is this material reality? You realize that the more you practice this form of present moment manifestation, the more your outer world will reflect your inner world. And now, with this experience fully intact in your awareness, and when you're ready, open your eyes and come back into this room. So let me say a little bit more about quantum physics, quantum mechanics. Again, I'm not an expert in this, but the little that I do know makes sense in terms of consciousness. And so if you look at light, let's say, one of the qualities of light or energy basically is that in quantum mechanics, light and energy can be both a particle and a wave. Okay, so basically it can be particle, which is a matter, and wave is kind of potential. And so if we take that little analogy into our discussion about manifestation, we want to look at the idea that being identified with a particle means being identified with something that's solid versus being identified with something that's kind of in a potential form. You want to focus on the potential, right? So let's say you're wanting to make let's say you're wanting to make a bowl out of clay, okay? And the clay that you have to work with is either an already shaped vessel, like a cup or something that you want to turn into a bowl, but it's already been through the fire and it's hard. Think about you trying to turn that already fired cup into a bowl versus a random lump of unfired clay. Which one would you want to use? So the unfired clay represents the wave because it's just, you can make anything out of that lump of clay that's not fired, versus the cup that's already fired. It's already hardened. Okay? So the hardened cup, the hardened clay is definitely more like the particle, the solid mass. And when we are identifying with, I'm this person, I'm this loser, I'm unlucky, nothing works for me, when we're identified with that, we're kind of identifying with something that's already formed. Okay? In this present moment, like I was talking about before, we have the possibility to be a different aspect of ourselves. And in this present moment, we can identify more with the wave of what we are, meaning the possibility of what we are, rather than what we've kind of known ourselves to be, which is the matter, the particle of what we are. Okay, so when you're wanting to spend time kind of throwing out your thought and intention and emotion, you want to do that more as the possibility of you, meaning you want to be more of a wave. Okay, so in this present moment, you can exist more as the wave. The wave is like, Joe Dispenza calls it having an open heart, and so we can use that analogy. When you're open-hearted and you are open to possibilities and you're not holding yourself in some kind of small role of either, I'm the one that nobody loves, or I'm the one that doesn't ever get what they need. When you're holding yourself into that, it's a particle. When you're open to the possibility, like, yes, this can happen for me. You're identifying in this moment as the wave of possibility, and you're not trying to control the situation. You're just like, I'm this wave and I'm putting this out. Here is my intention, here is my thought, and here's my feeling. And as this wave, you are interacting with the quantum field, which is also a wave. You're interacting with it, okay? If you're interacting with the quantum fields as the particle, as the solid thing, it's like, I'm this guy and I really need this stuff and I really need this to happen. You're trying to force your will onto the quantum field, and it's going to say, screw you, not interested. It's not going to happen. It's because it's not speaking the same language. All you're going to get back is your own solid self, the solidity or the particleness of what you've already decided is true. So the idea is, like, when you work with manifesting things, when you work with that, identify more with the wave in you that exists in this present moment, and it also speaks directly to the potential and possibility of what the quantum field is, where the building blocks of whatever you're trying to manifest exist. Okay, good. So I hope this is making sense to you. I hope you got something valuable out of this. And so we're going to stop for a short commercial. And on the other side, I'm going to send you off with some words of inspiration for your week.
Hi, I'm Kelly Melissa Reinhart, host of Make Mental Health Matter. Join me on Mondays at 11 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the Achieve TV network right here on E360 TV.
A better way to understand the act of manifestation is to see that we already have the capacity to manifest things, but mostly use it to create things that we don't want. The situation is that we can't help but to manifest things in our lives because that's our nature. The problem is that we don't take the time to see how we are actually using this awesome ability day to day. When we realize that our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are what activate what we manifest, we can begin to look more closely at what thoughts we're nurturing and start directing them consciously to what we want to create. And that's our show for this week. I want to thank you guys for coming by and say that I really enjoyed spending this time with you as usual. And here is your self-inquiry journal prompt for this week. Make a list of 3 things you intend to manifest in your life. Be specific with the details and notice the emotions connected to them. Okay, once again, make a list of 3 things you intend to manifest in your life. Be specific with the details and notice the emotions connected to them. Okay, you got it? Good. So until next week, friends, be curious, be kind to yourself, and remember that your genius has something to say.
Thanks for watching The Genius Way Show with Ben Hummell. Make sure to visit thegeniusway.com for the resources you need to help you on your personal life journey. You can contact Ben at ben@thegeniusway.com. And you can follow The Genius Way with Ben Hummell on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for streaming The Genius Way Show with Ben Hummell.